All right, everybody. It is Team Next Generation. It is August 19th, Wednesday. So welcome to the call. I appreciate you guys being here. Thank you so much. So tonight we've got not a ton to unpack. We've got a bit that I wanted to talk about, and then I really want to open it up for kind of an open forum so you guys can shoot out any questions you're having that we might be able to shed some light on. So anybody right now that is involved in a club challenge, we just got finished with the 7-day clean eating challenge. So now those people are people that we are inviting to the 21-day fix group that either Deanna and I will be starting next Monday on the 24th, or that if you guys are running your own individual challenge groups, that you'll be starting then. Some people I think are starting on the 1st, maybe. So either way, so we're starting that. We're also, for those who are wanting to, or feeling confident enough to, or comfortable enough to, we're also starting to run ads. Deanna has already ran one. We may or may not do another one towards the end of the month. Depends. But either way, I wanted to kind of touch base on that. We've got some information in the Team Next Generation on the actual file, in the files, under 21-day fix info group. So we've got information on how to post the ad, videos, like how to actually put it together on Facebook. So kind of a tutorial, if you will, and this is how you actually run an ad. You have to have a like page. Most of us know that. So if you don't have a like page currently, we need to make sure that you set up a like page on Facebook first, and then actually get likes on that page. So invite all your friends, invite us, we'll like it. Invite everybody to like it so that you can then run an ad. Facebook won't allow you to run an ad unless you have a like page. So if you do decide to run an ad and you do create a like page, like I said, there is some information in the Next Generation file folder that will explain how to actually run an ad. But aside from that, kind of beyond that, it'll tell you how to post it, what to do. It'll give you, an actual photo to use. I mean, it tells you all of that stuff. But then there's a lot more that goes into it. And really what it is you have the actual ad itself. So that gains traction. That puts people into a group. But realistically, the ad is just to tell people where you're at, and if you will, and kind of like, come learn more. And then it's our responsibility at that point to kind of follow through on that. And the relationships, the way we go about building those relationships to actually get people to join in challenge, that's what really is the golden aspect of the ads. That's why I think that a lot of people can run ads. And unfortunately, it's one thing to get people in your group, but then aside from that, even if you've got people that want to learn about it, if you're not really reaching out to them in the appropriate way, or, kind of like building that relationship, right? Focusing on that relationship, you may or may not be successful in actually getting people to join you. So the ad becomes kind of irrelevant, right? Like, that's just to get traction, to get people to actually want to hear what's going on. Then it's your job after that to kind of take it to the next level and really explain it to them and build that relationship. Deanna does an exceptional job at that. She's got a pretty strong system down, I believe. And, some months are better than others, right? Some months we run 2 ads and, one ad just for whatever reason is not, doesn't gain enough traction, but, it is what it is. But with that said, she's still very good and about kind of building that relationship. So Deanna, if you would, will you tell us, you post the ad, right? You get it going. It's usually a couple days. You run it for a few days, and then you start the info group. Let's just imagine you started on a Monday, right? So everybody got, everybody got added to the group. They added themselves. Monday rolls around, but let's just step back a second and look at Sunday and Saturday. As these people are getting added to the group, what are you doing exactly once people start actually adding themselves to the group? What do you do? How do you approach them? What do you say to them? Take me through what that looks like.
Okay. Well, first of all, what they'll do is I always provide a link in my ad, a bit.ly link, to be added to the group. So once they click on that bit.ly link, it sends me a message, they're pending. So they're not actually in the group at that point, they're pending. I have to actually go in there and manually approve them. So what I do before I actually manually approve them is first of all, I send them a Facebook or a friend request. And then after I send them the friend request, I go in and I send them a private message just saying, hey, I'm Deanna with Honest Fitness. Thank you for, wanting to be in the 2-day info group. I'd be happy to add you in just a moment. Let me learn a little bit more about you. What are your health and fitness goals and what do you currently struggle with? then I actually go to their page as well. Some people are more private than others. So if it's public, I'll try to actually find a photo that I like, or that I, can relate to, or something that they post on their page that interests me, and then I'll like it or I'll comment on it. And so it's a way to just kind of connect that way. And then I add them to the group. And then that's kind of how my beginning stages go.
And so guys, if you follow that, there's a couple of things that she's doing there that are, I think, absolutely paramount to getting people kind of involved, right? She's not just saying, first of all, she's not saying, hey, thanks for being part of the group. I'm excited to give you information. I'm going to add you to the group, right? And it starts tomorrow. She's asking them questions. She's trying to figure out, what are you struggling with? Why are you even in this group? What about this is even exciting to you at all? Often, and this isn't every time, but often I've heard her say that like people will be asking questions about stuff, like she'll be talking to them during the entire process of this info group, and they'll be asking questions about stuff that she just posted in the info group like an hour ago, or earlier that morning. And what it tells me is they're not all even paying attention to the info group, right? They're just talking to her at this point. They're just like, oh, okay, so if she wasn't engaging with them and trying to kind of pry the questions out of them and learn what's going on and really actually like taking an interest in them, then they would just be lost. They would most likely maybe kind of chime into the info group a little bit, but realistically probably bounce and not even pay attention to it and be just gone. Like it's the fact that she's starting to build that relationship and she's starting to build that trust with them, and that trust is being built through her asking questions and truly like caring about trying to help them and not just try to sell something to them. That's, I think, where the major kind of like golden opportunity is in this whole ad perspective, right? Without that key element, I think these ads are like 10% effective. That 90% of the rest of it comes from what she did with just those first few messages. So once you put them into the group, right, you've started the actual info group. You've started kind of beginning that relationship with them. You started asking them a few questions. Then what does it look like after you start the group? What are you doing before you actually end the info group? What are you doing in that couple of days?
So I only have a 2-day info group. I actually start the info group the day before it starts. Like I just started doing a video saying, hey, I'm so excited for you to start the info group or this group with me. And I'll tell a little bit about my journey with Beachbody. I'll share a little bit about, hey, a year ago, I wasn't eating healthy. I wasn't working out. I ate like poo and I hate working out, and I still don't really totally enjoy it, but I love the way it makes me feel. And so then that way, I'm relatable, because nobody wants to say, oh, hey, I'm this fitness super person when they're, when they've got like 10 or 100 pounds to lose, So I just share a little bit about myself. Once day one hits, I'm still communicating with some people. Some people might not have messaged me. And one thing too, that I always like to remind people is, if you're private messaging somebody and they don't respond, don't feel defeated. It's total follow-up. And another thing, not everybody's seeing those private messages. Either they don't have Messenger downloaded, or if you're not friends with them yet, then it'll go into this other folder that a lot of people don't know about. So I post about 4 times a day. It's a 2-day group. I post about 4 times a day, so it's a lot of content. So what I started doing just the last couple times is, the first day I focus on the fitness and the nutrition. So I focus on the workouts, the nutrition program, and Shakeology. And then what I do is, after the first day, I post a video just saying, hey, I hope you found this information helpful, and I kind of give a recap. What I do on that is, after I post that video, then I actually tag every single person in the comments. Because a lot of people, you'll see it's seen by like 5 people, and you're like, what? I've got like 60 people in my group. Why are only 5 people seeing it? So then I make sure that I tag everybody in that video, so they're more likely to see it. And I'm messaging people. I'll follow up. I'm a little bit more aggressive, I guess, in my follow-ups during this time, only because if I don't hear from them by the end of day 1 or before we start the group, then I'll might just copy and paste just a quick message. Hey, have you had a chance to look at the group, or what have you liked so far? What interests you about the nutrition program? So I don't ever come across, I guess I always ask for a positive feedback. So I don't say, do you think you might like this? I'm like, what did you like? Because there's always something good that somebody can like, oh my gosh, I really like the containers, or I really like the portion control, or I really like that you're not eliminating any food groups. So you're just asking them what they do like about it. So you're kind of creating that positive atmosphere of the program, because we all know it's awesome, so we want them to kind of find those key things that they find awesome as well.
Absolutely. So will you do me a huge favor and just kind of say, okay, so your first day on the, and this is all in that file information, but if you would just like kind of bullet point real quick, that first video that you post, so it's a 2-day group, right? So the first video, the first day, what does it talk about?
So the prior to the first day?
Prior to the first day. Let's start there.
So prior to the first day, so it's just like, hey, thanks for joining my group. So excited. Here's kind of what we're going to go over. So day one, I'm trying to think. I switch it up all the time because I try to keep it fresh, and I like to play around and see what works and what doesn't. And if it doesn't work, then it's like, okay, let's move on to the next thing. So I think I might post a quick video about the workouts. So I think it's in your back office, the 21-day fix, quick, like 2-minute video. Then like later on in the day, I might post a video. One of our friends, Brad, did like a 3 to 5 minute video about the nutrition containers and how they work, and how the nutrition program works. Then I will post a little bit about Shakeology, and like put a little photo about, I think it's a photo of the $4 versus $41 thing. And then I'll put a couple links to videos as well. So it's a lot of videos. So, people don't have a lot of time to watch all those, and I totally get it. But it's always something good that you can refer them back to, because people are like, well, what about the Shakeology? Oh, well, I just posted information on it. I'll definitely tag you in it, and then they can go back. And then I think the last video that I do is actually just me just saying, hey, I hope you found this information helpful. We talked about the super simple nutrition, the quick 30-minute workouts, and, just kind of recapping the day. And then I kind of give them a little teaser saying, tomorrow I'm going to give you a little sneak peek into our challenge groups, which are a total game changer, and I'm just honest saying, you can get this program anywhere, you can, but that's not what we're here for. That's not what we do. Buying the program is only the beginning. It's the accountability group. And so I put a lot of value in our accountability groups because I believe in them so strongly, because if it wasn't for those accountability groups, I wouldn't be in the place I'm at. If it wasn't for being forced to coach and being supportive of my husband, I would not be healthy. I don't know how many of you guys know, I was a smoker. I was a smoker before I started these programs. I drank a soda pop a day. I would hide food because I didn't want my husband complaining at me that I ate Taco Bell every day, and so I believe in them so strongly. And so I really try to share my passion on that. So day 2, if you want me to kind of share with day 2.
Yeah. Break it
so
down.
What I do is, so the first thing I'll do is I'll actually post one of our how every morning we make a video for the group. I'll actually post that in the info group, just like, hey, here's kind of a little thing that we do every day. And, hopefully it's something that's inspiring to somebody. And then I have a couple comments that have been made in various groups that we've had. And I block out their names and their photo, but I actually found that the ones it was 3 different people, 3 different posts, or actually I think it might be 4 or 5, but I kind of consolidated them into 3 different posts. And I didn't do this intentionally, but I found that all the posts that I chose were not about weight, or it was people surprised that it was non-scale victories, because everybody's like, before this, I thought that, a weight I wanted to be a certain weight. Now I'm realizing, oh my gosh, my pants are totally fitting loose, but I've only lost 3 pounds because I'm building all this muscle. So I'm like, you notice, because I also think it's so important to get that number of that scale out of people's heads, because people rely on it so much that I just try to promote, hey, you know, all these people are losing so many inches and they're getting smaller, but that number on the scale isn't necessarily where they think it should be. And then the last post is a video just saying, hey, I hope you found this information helpful, you know, and then the very last thing that I do, I actually share the price. So I'm like, you know, I talk about everything that is included in the challenge pack. I put a lot of value in everything you're getting. I don't just say, hey, it's this much. I'm like, here's everything that you're getting. You're getting, you know, the program, the nutrition guide, the super simple color-coded containers, the workout calendar, the videos. You get a free DVD from me as your coach. You get a 30-day supply, you know, of Shakeology. It's great superfood nutrition. And the best thing is it's risk-free. You can literally complete the program, and if you're not happy with the results, you return it for a refund. And you can also win a free t-shirt and still return the program. How cool is that? You know, so you just kind of put the, you know, what do you have to lose? Kind of value on it as well. And then I wrap up with a video, just recapping everything, putting the belief in the program, in the product, in the challenge groups, and letting them know that I'm there for them every step of the way. And I tell them, hey, I'm messaging you guys. If you're not getting my messages, you know, check your other folder. If we're not friends yet, send me a friend request. And then I follow up with them, or I ask them to follow up with me, but then I follow up with them as well, because I'm kind of.
When do you follow up with them?
Usually that night or the next morning. So I try to make my work hours mornings and evenings. And so if I'm posting, I try to think, because, you know, not everybody is in the Pacific Northwest. So there's people in Canada that might be 5 hours ahead. So I try to not post too late, if that makes sense, to try to, because I know one of our our coaches, Tracy, she's like 5 hours ahead of us, right? It's 5 hours.
5 hours.
And so I try to like not post, you know, past like 8 or 9 o'clock, to try to hit a lot of people, you know, and they might not see it until the next day. And so a lot of times I'll probably put, and it's a copy and paste kind of thing as well. Like, hey, you know, thanks for joining our 2-day info group. I hope I really provided you some information that you can make an informed decision if this program is right for you. And again, I might say, what did you like about it? What was your favorite thing? What did you learn that you didn't learn? You know, and here's when our challenge group is starting. It's starting this blah, blah, blah. I would love to have you. It's going to be awesome that we can do it together. You know, so I kind of, instead of saying, I'm going to coach you the whole way, which I do, I also try to put a lot of emphasis on that we're going to do it together. It's not just going to be me telling you what to do. We're doing this together.
So the people that don't respond, that don't follow, you know, that you follow up with and they just kind of ignore you or whatever, or the people that just, you know, don't follow through with anything and they're just kind of like, they're added to your group and then they just went MIA. What do you do with them?
So sorry, somebody from Canada calling. I know those phone bills are expensive now. Sorry. Anyways, what were you saying?
Oh my gosh. So the people that don't follow through, right? That you follow up with, they just ignore you. What do you do with them?
So for people that don't follow through, I've kind of changed how I've done this, and I'm still playing around with it. So people that don't respond to me, I actually follow up with them like 4 times. If they don't respond, what I was doing before, I was actually taking them out of the info group. But what I recently started doing is I keep them in the info group. So when I start my next info group, they're hearing this information again. and then I follow up with them again. And sometimes they respond and sometimes they don't. I've had one lady that's actually in our challenge group now that I think she was in my info group for 3 times. And then finally she's like, thanks for not giving up on me. Thanks for keep checking in with me. I appreciate that. And she's rocking it and she loves it. And it's awesome. And so it's like, never take it personally. You know, we all know that life happens, and we always have the best of intentions to, you know, make a change and get back to people, but life happens and we get busy. So, you know, don't ever take it personally, because I really struggle with that at first, because I'm kind of sensitive, and I always think, you know, I don't want to bug people, I don't want to offend them, but a lot of times they just get busy, and they want this, or, you know, they want to kind of have you there because they may want this in the future. I've had people tell me no for a year, and then now they're rocking it. So follow up is key. I cannot stress that enough.
Yeah, you guys, that is something that really I think we all have to understand. I think we all struggle with that to some extent. I know myself. I know that I struggle with that. I feel that if I continually follow up with somebody, if they're not responding, I feel like they're being annoyed by me, right, is what's happening. Like, that's what I tell myself in my head. They're just frustrated. Like, it doesn't come into my head that maybe this person's busy. Maybe they got stuff going on. Maybe just right now for them is not the right time or whatever. That doesn't enter my head. It's I'm annoying this person, and that's all there is to it. That's what enters my head, right? And what we found, we found this over and over and over and over and over again, and we've heard this from so many other coaches. That's not always true. In fact, that's very rarely true. More often than not, if you actually send a message and ask somebody, say, I just had a girl the other day that Deanna and I have been talking to about coaching for I don't know how long. And I have sent her, literally myself, I've sent her probably 8 messages. I talked to her on the phone once about coaching. I sent her like 8 private messages. The last 4 messages that I've sent her, I have not received a response to. If you look at our message thread on Facebook, it's a message from me. And then a month later, a message from me. And then like 3 weeks later, a message from me. And it's just like, I'm thinking so my last message literally looked like, hey, you know, I don't want to be that guy that's driving you nuts. So I really apologize if I am. That's not my intent at all. We had some great conversations about coaching in the past. I know you were, you know, really considering it. It sounds like you might have some, or seems like you might have some hesitation, and that's absolutely fine. There's nothing wrong with that. I was just hoping that maybe I could help answer some of your questions and determine if this was something that was even for you or not. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't, but maybe I can shed some light on some things. Within like a half an hour, not even, I got a message back. Hey, you know, it's been a long time. I am very interested, actually. I've definitely got some hesitations, but I'm definitely ready to talk about it finally. You know, here's our phone number, call me.
Yeah.
I got to know her. I would have thought that for sure I was just driving her nuts. Not true. You know what I mean? Like, it's just not. It's like she had some hesitations. It's got to be on her time. And then we've also got people like Panic that I've talked to for, I don't know how many times I talked to Panic about coaching beforehand or even the programs, right? Yeah, a lot, bud. And you know what? The comment he was making.
And Gene.
Yeah, and finally when he was ready, the comment was, thanks for not giving up or you know, having faith in us, or you know what I mean? Like believing in us, you know, and following through, right? It's just like, you can't assume that just because somebody's not responding that there's a negative connotation involved with that. It doesn't necessarily always pan out. More often than not, they're just busy, man. They're like us. We're busy too. Everybody's busy. Don't stress it.
Yeah. And I definitely, I recommend too, you know, lead with your fears. If you feel like you're bothering somebody, call it out. I've done that before where I'm like, okay, I've messaged these people 4 different times and they're not responding back to me. So I'm like, hey, you know, I'm sorry if I feel kind of like a stalker, you know, I hope you don't feel like I'm stalking you. I'm just curious to see if you're interested. I mean, totally fine. Just let me know if you want me to leave you alone, you know, but in a funny kind of lighthearted way. And they're like, oh my gosh, you're not bugging me at all.
Yeah.
You know, and I find that I get a lot of response when people aren't responding. When I say that, then they're like, oh, you're not bugging me at all. But no, I'm not interested, you know, or, oh, I am, but just not right now. So lead with your fears. If you feel uncomfortable about something, then, you know, just put it out there. And a lot of times people can relate to that because it's genuine and you're being honest, and that's what we're all about.
Absolutely. Yeah, I could not agree with that more. But one of the keys, and the reason I know we talk about the ads a lot, and I know, you know, some of you are probably like, okay, I'm sick of hearing about these ads, whatever. And even Deanna was like, are we really talking about this again? And yes, we are. And the reason being is because in all honesty, the ads have been for Deanna and myself, our job as coaches and your guys' job as coaches to other coaches is to share what has been successful for you, right? What have you learned through this? It's the same way as the challenge group. When you guys are leading challengers, your job is to share, you're not telling them what to do. You're sharing, this is what's working for me. And this is why you're here with me. And this is why we're doing it together, right? And this is, you know, like, this is how I'm being successful in meeting my nutrition and fitness goals. Same goes for coaching. This is why we're being successful in hitting our goals, you know, in this term, Success Club goals or whatever. And realistically, all joking aside, these ads have been a large factor in us hitting good Success Club numbers for the past, since basically February. Even when we have off months with them, they're still really strong player. It's still really strong players. So I want to make sure that we really kind of like, hey, I'm not telling everybody you have to do ads, but what I do want to know, what I do want to get through is to make sure that you guys understand it's not only, you cannot focus solely on ads, but it's part of the equation. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, we all have to reach out to people. This is just another way to reach out to people. You're still not selling them on something because you still have to form the relationship. These people are just people that are interested. They're kind of like free leads in a way, right? Like the free leads you get from Beachbody from hitting Success Club. Those are people that are actually interested in some sort of, like fitness or routine or Shakeology or something, and that's why they're beneficial. They're coming to you. You're not really going to them. That's what these ads are. They're just a way of bringing people to you instead of you having to, go out, span out to them as much. It's not to say that you just get to do ads and that's it. And, and all of a sudden be successful. You still have to be adding to your Facebook page. You still have to be reaching out to people, to friends. You still have to be doing all these other vital behaviors. But if you combine all of it, that's what we've found personally and what we've had other coaches find to be what, the kind of like stepping stones to keys to success, if you will. Another thing that I wanted to make sure that people kind of got from that whole ad thing, and part of the reason we're talking about it now, is the file on the back of on the Team Next Generation page. It speaks to how to do it, how to functionally run the ad. But I wanted to make sure you guys really followed up or really understood what Deanna is doing when we're running that ad, because that's the important part. She is building relationships, and B, she's building a foundation of trust in the product, but as well in our challenge groups. So a lot of those videos, she's filming of herself. Guys, we are leaders to these challenge groups. People aren't just joining the challenge group to be part of 21 Day Fix or part of P90X or part of one of these programs. They're joining it to be part of something with us, right? They're looking to you for some sort of guidance in this whole thing, right? Like they're joining you, and I realize that it's not always a scenario where you're coaching them necessarily. Like, I'm not going to tell you what to do, but they have trust in you. And you're part of the reason that they're here. So we really need to focus on putting that importance, if you will, building that importance in us more than just a product. Like Deanna said, they can go get these products anywhere, right? I mean, like you can go buy a DVD on eBay 1,000 times. Deanna and I did it. That was how we first started doing P90X. You know what I mean? Like everybody's done it. But the true value is really in us in helping them reach those goals. I found P90X on eBay. I got through 3 days and I quit, right? It wasn't until I had accountability, Deanna in this scenario, that I actually went through full 90 days. And a lot of people are like that. So we really have to build that trust in us, that belief in us and our ability to help them reach those goals beyond and above what just the programs are doing. So that's what she's doing, is she's building relationships. And then she's really like saying, I'm not just going to copy and paste only ads for 21 Day Fix, for instance. I'm going to share videos of me. Like this is us. These are the videos that we do every day in our challenge groups. Like this is a little key into what you're getting. You're not just getting a product, you're getting us helping you, and you're getting the team kind of helping you. So I just wanted to make sure that everybody kind of like really understood that, because that's the meat of this whole plate, right? That's the meat and potatoes of why ads works. One of the things I wanted to touch on tonight, just to kind of get done with ads, because you guys are probably sick of hearing about that. But one of the things that I wanted to see how you guys felt before we get it up to questions and answers. I'm thinking at the end of this month, I want to see what you guys think about doing. I don't know if anybody of you have experience with the 3-day refresh. Raise your hand. Give me like a thumbs up if anybody's done any of that. Has anybody done that? Anybody? Okay. So I'm one of the only ones I think that's done it. It's a 3-day kind of cleanse, if you will. At first I wasn't sure what to think about it, to be honest. I'd never done really a cleanse or whatever. But it does, I think what threw me off about it at first was that my interpretation of it was Beachbody is not a lose weight quickly, lose weight easy kind of game. It's a game of like, look, you work hard, you follow your nutrition, and you stick to it, and you're going to get results, right? Nutrition plus fitness plus accountability equals results. That's kind of how it works. So this was like, wait a minute, I'm going to drink shakes for a few days and all of a sudden I'm going to lose a bunch of weight. I don't know if I like that. It seems very counterintuitive to what Beachbody is as a company. But what it actually is, it's a really good way to kind of push past plateaus. It's a really good system to kind of like in between programs to kind of switch it up, shock your body, and get reset for the next round, right? So what I want to do, if you guys are into it, is I would love to do like a team challenge, like a next generation coaches team challenge, where we all actually do at the end of this month. Maybe it's the first 3 days of next month, or maybe it's the last 3 days of this month, or whatever. Do an actual 3-day cleanse, and I'll tell you why. Here's how we would do it. I haven't determined yet if we would do a challenge page, like a typical challenge page, or just run it on the team page. That might be the most effective, just run it on the team page. But it would be something that you would all share on your pages, on your personal pages as well. So it's an easy way of not, hey, join me doing this 3-day cleanse. It's a, hey, this is what I'm doing, and I'm going to walk you guys every day through what my experience is like. I've heard about this. People have talked about it. I'm excited about it. I want to give it a shot. Here it is. It's a little bit of traction. It's a little bit more talking without selling. We're not like, hey guys, come do this. I can hook you up. Let me, it's on sale this month. None of that. You know what I mean? It's just like, this is a cleanse, and I'm excited to try it. And, I don't know how to feel about it yet. You can be very honest, right? We need to be vulnerable and honest. You might really be like, I don't know that I'm into this. I'm going to give it a try because I've heard good stuff. And then just be very blunt and like be very honest about this one drink is kind of tough to get down. I don't know if I love it, but actually, you know what? I feel good today. So, you know what I mean? Whatever it is, right? Just be very honest about the whole situation. What it'll do is it'll give you guys something to talk about. It'll give you guys something to post, and it'll give you guys some traction for people that are like, oh, okay, liking, commenting on those posts. And it doesn't look like you're saying, join me in size, join me in 21 Day Fix, that people are getting inundated with every day, all day long, because there's 300,000 coaches, right? It's like everybody's got a handful of friends. So they're all kind of used to seeing that stuff. They're not going to be used to seeing, hey, I'm trying this and I want to see what you guys think about it. So I don't know how you guys, what you guys think about doing that, but let me put it this way. Dion and I are fortunate enough to be part of a group on Facebook, which is like the top 140 coaches in the entire company. They're posting every day, and they all do this. They all do these things with their team like every so often. Go, Ben.
I was going to say that a lot of them do the 3-day refresh like once a month.
Yeah, and with their team, as a team, because of how well it does at building the team's reach to other people, because of the benefit it has for everybody involved. That's why they do these things. So I kind of I just kind of look through their page and go, okay, I'm doing what they're doing. So whatever they do, they're the ones that are like that post I shared on the Next Generation page of the girl that was like $67,000 that month. She's in the middle of that group. They're all doing that kind of stuff. A girl just did a post today about she made like $87,000 last month. It's ridiculous, which just means, can you imagine how many people's lives she's touched? Like, she has had her finger on somebody's life, like in every city, every state, every area you can imagine. Like, that's a lot of people's lives that have been impacted by just that one person. So that's impressive stuff. So, that's what we're here to do. I'd love to open it up and see, what questions you guys have. Like, are you guys struggling with anything right now? Is there anything that we can shed some light on? What do you guys think about the 3-day refresh I did? Be honest. That's what we're here for. And hold on a second. Let me unmute everybody. And manage. Okay. So everybody's unmuted. So if you guys would do me a favor, thank you very much, Natalie, already. If you guys do me a favor and just mute your mics individually, and then if you want to speak, just get a question, unmute it, and shoot. Does anybody have any questions at all? Jessica.
Okay, mine relates back to the ads. I think my like pages is too new for them to let me do like well, I guess what I was going to ask was, what category when you're doing your ad do you choose? Is it a special offer? There was, several different things. There's boost your post, get more likes. Which one do you typically choose for that?
For the ad?
Uh-huh.
So the ad, if you go to the file section in Team Next Generation, there's actually a link that'll show you how to create the ad. You actually want to go into Google Chrome.
Okay.
From there, you want to go into Power Editor, and it kind of, and they always update it and change it, which weirds me out because I'm not good at change.
I'll go back through the video.
Yeah, and so we can definitely walk you. I would like to make an updated video, because the one video that my friend, oh my gosh, Alicia made, is good, and most of it still pertains, but I think that there's one little difference. Like they have an option for when you're selecting something that it would be page post or page post engagements or something like that. But now you actually want to select clicks to website. And that's changed. I don't know why. It makes no sense to me, but I found that once I switched that up.
And you guys have a website, or you're using your Facebook?
No, it's just the clicks to website is actually just that little bit.ly link that I'm adding that people click for. So, and then you just have to put that bit.ly link. So we don't have a website other than.
Because I did register my domain name, but my other question was,
nice.
What that bit.ly, is that like the like when you create an event? Is that where you, or would you do it like when you have like a challenge group? Like, because I did my ad, I took out all that stuff just because I didn't know what that was.
So what you would do if you're going to create a 2-day informational group, so you actually create that group.
Okay.
And then you go up to the, I guess, URL and you copy and paste that.
Okay.
And you go to bit.ly.com, I think is what it is. And then you can enter that URL number and it'll shorten it and make it smaller.
Okay.
And so it'll be like bit.ly.com / and then you can make it something. You can have it say, Jessica's awesome, or whatever you want it to say. And then, but first you have to start by creating that page.
Okay.
And it's nice because you can recycle that page. So I've had that particular, or that group, up since January, and then what I do is I just delete
or leave them in or whatever.
Yeah, I leave them in, but then I'll remove all that content when it's over. So when I have new people, they're getting that content fresh again.
Okay. I apologize if that was on the video. I watched the video like a month ago and then didn't start doing the ad till yesterday. And I was like, okay, now I
have no idea if it's on there or not. I don't know.
I just boosted my post because I think my page is too new anyway to do an actual ad. So
see, yeah, I think I had heard from, I think Evan told me at one time that he tried to do an ad when his page was new. And I don't know if you have to have so many likes before you can do that. So in that case, when I first did our page, and to be honest, I don't really get a lot of traction on my page. And I think it's also because I'm not real consistent on my page. I notice if I'm posting consistently twice a day, I'll get more traction and more likes. But sometimes I'll be really good for a week and then I won't post anything for a few days. And then I might post 1 or 2 things. So I use it mostly for an ad tool, I guess.
Right.
But in the beginning, I did promote or boost my page because it's kind of a small amount. Like you could spend $5 a day.
I've been doing that a little bit. Yeah, just playing around with it. But
yeah.
So from my experience with the ad of Facebook, they're really sensitive to the information you put on there, especially your wording and your picture ad, because I've got a lot of disapprove just because things weren't in the right place, or your 1 or 2 word was trying to promote something or sell something, and they just they don't tell you what it is. They just said, sorry, you didn't reach.
They did that to me yesterday because I had too many words on my image.
You have more than I believe 20%.
Yeah.
And so they do have an option where you can click and it'll actually review your photo for you. I've never used it. I just always go in there and I'll go, okay, I got to make the words a little bit smaller, and then I'll submit it again, and then a little bit smaller. So I totally am right there with you on that frustration because I'm like, come on, you got to be kidding me. Yeah. But it's just totally playing around with it. And I noticed that one thing that they don't like either, for some weird reason, are before and after photos, because they think that you're promoting some sort of weird substantial weight loss thing that's not attainable. Even though we're doing it in a healthy way, for some reason, they don't like that as well.
True. Very true. What about anybody else? Anybody else have any, or Jessica, did I answer all your questions? You good? Does anybody else have any questions? Matt?
Totally does not have to be about ads or anything.
No, no, absolutely not. It could be anything.
We were talking about size earlier, and the regular challenge pack. It doesn't come with containers, right?
The size control? No, it does not.
I knew it was a similar program, but And there's a deluxe version that comes with containers. But we just wanted to make sure we were telling people the right thing if they buy a challenge pack. There's no containers, right?
Size does not come with containers, but it does in the nutrition plan. It actually tells you the measurements, whatever, and you can use the container system for 21-day fix. But it does not by itself come with them. You have to buy them extra, separately, or get the larger challenge pack that you're not going to be able to. Or maybe do they have that available in the Coach Mobile app?
Well, there was we were just looking online, right? It wasn't on the mobile app. I think we were just looking on the Beachbody website, but there was like a deluxe package where it came with it. But that didn't come with Shakeology. It was like $120 or something for size and containers, or I don't know.
We were looking on the shop, or it was Beachbody's site, and I looked up shop, and we were trying to figure out, because there was like 5 different options, right? There was just regular size, and then there was size with Shakeology, and then there's like 5 different ones. We were trying to figure out if there was one with Shakeology that came with the containers, but I don't think there is.
I'm thinking there might not be. One tip, and because I learned this the hard way, and you guys might already be doing this, make sure that you're not logged into your account when you're looking that up, because it won't give you an option for challenge packs. Since you already have one, you can't get another one. So what I always do is I log out of my account, and then I'll log in as a customer, so teambeachbody.com/honestfitness, and then I can view as a customer. But I think you're right. I don't know that it comes in a challenge pack, which is kind of silly, but yeah.
And for you guys that are getting, so for anybody that's getting close to Diamond or whatever, or you get to a point where you're going to start building your spouse's account up, make sure that if you're signed into, you'll have 2 different accounts. Make sure that when you're actually sending in a link from the mobile app, that you actually sign out of all the accounts. Like, make sure you signed out, and then sign in separately to whatever account you want it to be signed up into on the mobile app. Otherwise, I can't tell you how many times we signed up people in the wrong account. We're like, oh, once you're done, once they're in, they're in. You're like, man, I wanted them under my profile and not Diana's, or whatever it is, So just kind of keep that in mind as well. What does everybody think about doing the 3-day challenge? Like, give me some thumbs up or thumbs down. Like, honest opinion. Thumb up. Lee, Jeans, thumb up. Matt's thumb up. Panic.
I'm into it, but what is it? What is our price for it? Just because I've been buying a lot of.
Oh no, yeah, I'm with you 100%. That's a very good question. I actually don't.
Because the challenge pack, if you were to sell it to somebody, is up there with a size challenge pack. Or it's a fairly expensive challenge pack if you were to sell it.
Are you looking it up, honey?
Yeah, I'm actually going to look it up real quick here and see, or maybe if you want to.
Yeah, I'll look it up. I want to say it might be, I'm guesstimating around 40, 50. I'm guesstimating. I'm not sure.
I feel like it wasn't ridiculous, but yeah, I don't want to say that, because the price you're seeing as a challenge pack or whatever, that's not what we would get. You know what I mean? As to a customer, because we're going to obviously get it as coaches. But yeah, I think that I don't know. I feel like it was somewhere in that $50 range.
I'll look. I'm almost there. So,
Pana, what's your thought on it? I know you're kind of like, I'm not sure about it. What do you?
Well, we're gonna jump right into size at the end of the month. So we're gonna do that for 4 weeks.
And that's fine, because I think what we'll do is I think we'll run it. I think we'll start doing it every so often, every maybe 6 weeks, every 4 weeks or whatever. Just try to get, kind of people, if we're all doing it at once, I guess is it's more just for us, to kind of talk about it, but also it's product knowledge and for you guys. I mean, it's not like you have to do it right this second, right? But at some point I would definitely say. I
would definitely do it in as soon as we get, because I know that all of us in our Team Worldwide Prestige are pushing really hard for our, I feel like my brain, I offered to show somebody 21-day fix that's in our group right now. So that's where I am oh my God, my brain is starting to so maybe in 3 weeks, I would maybe be more into doing it. I don't know. What do you guys think? What's your?
I say probably after September for us.
Okay.
We'll be better size and kind of transition to something new before the holidays, and I think we'll get a lot of people willing to jump on board, especially around the holidays.
Well, I have a question too that I've been kind of wondering about, but like how often you guys have been doing this a lot longer than we have, but how often do a lot of coaches run challenge groups? I mean, are you guys doing usually do multiple challenge groups at the same time, or?
That's a phenomenal question, and that's something that is you're going to hear a lot of different answers on that. My personal specific take on that one is you do one a month. All right. You can do more. John and I were just talking literally last night about how to kind of start formatting that. We've tried a handful of things. We've done a couple in a month. There's coaches that'll do them literally they start them almost every week. It seems like you're oh my gosh. The thing is, you get so scattered trying to do that many. You don't need to do that many, I don't feel like.
Yeah, I don't feel that you can. And everybody's different, and so I'm not dogging on anybody. But for me, because I've done 2 back-to-back, 2 at a time. I've done, one every other week. I've jumped into other people's challenge or plugged people into other people's challenge groups because I had another one running. And I found that I really dropped the ball, honestly. I felt like I let those people down because I felt like I just threw them in somebody else's challenge group. They were going to post. I was just, but then I didn't engage with them, and so I find that that's one is all I want to handle because I feel like I'm able to engage because then, I do want to incorporate more of the free 7-day groups because I think that that's really beneficial to people to kind of build that relationship and that trust and kind of show them the value of what an accountability group and simple eating can really do. So, right now, what I've been doing is I've been running them every 3 weeks. So, I do three weeks of the 21-day fix, and then I start another one. So we're wrapping up our 3rd week of 21-day fix right now, and I've got another one starting on Monday. But I might change that up. I might change it to, okay, I'm just going to run it the 1st of every month. It's all on what works for you and what you can handle because this is an awesome opportunity, but it needs to be fun and it needs to not be stressful because I know if you're like me, I'll put a lot of pressure on myself and I don't want to let anybody down. And then I get overwhelmed and then I get frustrated and then I take it out on Justin and he gets all mad and then the dog bites him and it's just not a good thing.
It's awkward. It's so awkward.
And so, you just need to do what works for you based upon your life. Your family comes first, your health comes, as priority. And so you need to kind of really think about what is going to work for you. And so right now I think I'm probably going to actually step back a little bit more and just do one challenge group a month, as well as a clean eating, incorporate the clean eating group more or the 7-day kickstart group more.
Yeah. This business really, it's primarily a business of relationships. That's what it is. That's why nurses do really well. That's why stylists do really well. People that are used to working with the public and working with people and building those relationships. That's why I think they excel at it, right? And that's why women excel at it, to be honest. Sorry, Matt, you're host. You're not a woman and you're not a stylist. So, but
Hannah is
you're killing it. This guy is none of anything I'm talking about right now, and he's just destroying, just building like a madman. It's ridiculous.
I'm just a CPA who's a backroom, hide away from people person.
Right. Yeah. The opposite of everything I'm saying. And it's okay, so just do.
And he's not a Facebook guy either.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be.
Yeah.
It's an awesome story because of that. And he's doing really, really, really well. But the point is, it really is about relationships. And if we're spreading ourselves too thin, we're not building those relationships because we're too focused on too much stuff going on. It gets overwhelming for us. You know what I mean? And just like Donna says, we drop the ball on it. And so for us, I feel like personally, and this is going to be, it has to make sense for you guys. I feel like personally, it makes more sense to get a challenge group going and really focus on that and really focus on helping every single person in that group and really staying committed with them and focusing on building them because that's what makes you successful in this business as a business. The minute you start getting too many, right? Too many people, too many challenge groups, too much going on. Not only are you not able to focus on anybody, but it's almost like you're stepping into that realm of pushing the numbers more than you're pushing the relationship. And once you start pushing the numbers, you're not going to build the business because Beachbody's done a pretty good job of trying to make it pretty specific that you want to be successful, you got to build relationships. You got to care about somebody or you're not going to be successful. period. Because, like at the end of the day, if you've got 30 people in a group or 3 different groups, great, right? Well, if you can only talk to 2 of them because you got so much going on, and the other 28 just kind of get left to the wayside, well, you had 2 people that you're talking to, and hopefully they do something. You know what I mean? Like, that's not going to be successful for anybody. But if you've only got 7 or 8 people and you can talk to every single one of them or whatever, can you really make them strong, then you've got a much better potential of actually growing, because you're really focused on helping them and not trying to focus on just, oh my gosh, I've got 14 different groups I've got to get ready for, and I've got to post in this group and then post in this group. I mean, just like, even for us right now, when we had a cleaning group and a challenge group, and then, Evan's gone, and, he's like, hey, will you help me out with my general accountability group? I'm like, even just those 3 is like, okay, there's so much going on, and we're used to it, but it's also got to be a format for other new coaches. So like, lead for yourself, you're newer to all this, and it's like, you're starting to try to figure things out, right? If we come in and say you need to do 3 challenge groups a month, you're going to be like, there's no possible way I'm going to do this. This is way too overwhelming. So we need to be able to, no problem. We need to be able to have a format that works for everybody, that can also be repeatable to anybody that's interested in it. So for for somebody that's just starting out, we want to be able to say, hey, no, it's really easy. You come with us. That's why I actually like the idea of doing these 7-day groups. Introduce people with these 7-day groups. Start not just challengers, but coaches. Start out by just taking over this, a couple days in this group. See what these 7-day groups are like. See what a challenge group's all about. See how it functions, how we actually coach in it, and then move you on to your own challenge group next. That we will be there with you. And then, so it's one that you're doing it with us, and then the next one we do it with you, and then the next one you do it by yourself, and then the following one you do it with somebody else, and then, and then that's kind of how it grows. So if we can keep it really easy, like you do a 7-day group, then you do a 3-day, 3-week challenge group. You do another 7-day group, and you just have that to focus on. That's where I think that's like extremely important. And that, guys, we're all rushing to get somewhere with this business, or not all of us, but a lot of us. If you're doing one strong, consistent, like successful challenge group every month, you're growing at an extreme rate, literally. Like the numbers that you see, like the posts that I'll post every once in a while about somebody's, like income or whatever, what they're doing. They didn't do that because they had 15 challenge groups going on. That didn't take that. That literally was like helping 5 or 6 people a month. That's how they got to where they're going. They just did it over, consistently every day for a few years. So if you're doing that, what seems like it's a snail's pace, you're doing that for a few years and you're going to hit those numbers. Like that's just how this business works. But if you're like trying to focus on getting 30 different people in a challenge group, you're just going to hit your head against the wall, and it's going to be frustrating. That's my opinion on it, but some people might be far more organized than I am. So who knows? Maybe for them it is easier, or maybe when you get to 20 hours a week and you've quit your job and you're doing it full time, you can do more challenge groups because you have more time to allot to it. But most of us are looking for something that we can build organically in like an hour, not 20 hours a week. We want it like an hour a day. Does that make sense? Yeah.
So when you're new to, obviously I just started and I have 4 people that are starting on Monday. Hopefully everyone's committed to starting on Monday. Do I add them to the challenge group that I'm in right now, your guys's, or do I start my own, or both?
So here's what I would say for you. You can do whatever you would like. You can start your own if you feel comfortable with it, although you don't have to. If we always say we are more than happy to have people in our groups. So meaning that we are more than happy to have you add people to our groups, as long as you do this. We require that if you're going to add people to our group, that remember they are there because you put them there. That means that their trust is in you. They don't know us, right? They might look at me and think this guy's an idiot. I don't like this guy. You know what I mean? Like, so we require that you guys say, okay, hey, you've got to check in with them on the backside. You know what I mean? Like you need to coach them, right? So check in with them on the backside, send them private messages every few days, or, and something like the 21-day fix. It's so short. It's like every few days. How are you doing? How's it going? If they post something or post a question, make sure you or even a post, it's not a question, comment on all their posts. Really like watch them.
Right.
Coach them. We will too. We'll be adding stuff every day. We'll be doing the video every day. We'll, more than likely we will be liking and commenting on their stuff as well. But kind of assume that we're not going to do anything with them, right? And then you have to actually take that step with them. That's all we ask. Otherwise, we're more than happy. You know, like we'll set it up. We'll do, you know, like we'll kind of head it up, whatever. And you just coach with us, you know, for them, right? And that'll give you a good insight until you feel comfortable and you're like, oh, okay, I kind of get the flow of it. I know how it goes. And then you move on and do your own. And if it feels more comfortable to you at that point to have us be part of that group, not necessarily posting in it every day, but just say, hey, will you just kind of monitor this and see how, you know, see how I'm doing? That's what we'll do. So it does really follow that format. You do one with us, right? Like actually as a challenger usually is how it goes. You'll do one with us. Then we do a challenge. You do a challenge group with us where you actually lead it. Then the next one is we do a challenge group where you lead it. And then the next one is you do a challenge group all on your own. And then the next one is you add somebody else to your challenge group that is going to do it with you, but you're going to be leading it. And that's how you grow. That next person that you're adding to it is somebody from that previous challenge group that's like, hey, I want to do what you do. I want to share. So how do I do this? Well, this is how you do it. And then you add them to that, and then you add them to that group, and you do it the same way. So everybody kind of has, you know, the same kind of start to it. And but I mean, if that takes a few challenge groups before you get kind of comfortable with it, or if you're just in a scenario where you're like, I've only got 2 people and I don't know what this is big enough for a group, I need more, you know, put them in. But just make sure that you're actively engaging with them so that you don't just drop them off and say, peace out, I'm going to go over here. And make sure you guys, and I'll tell you, you guys have been doing an amazing job. Like you guys have turned it around completely from, it's like a 180 flip from where you guys were doing it. You guys have really been stepping up and posting like leaders, you know, like not like challengers, right? So as a challenge group leader, as a coach, we need to try to post stuff that isn't just like, it's beyond even I just did my workout, but also like a little tip, you know what I mean? Like, hey, or something encouraging or something inspiring or something that's like really like, you know, that gets people involved, right? And you guys have stepped up the game in doing that, you know, like the videos I'm seeing. I mean, I'm personally so impressed with you guys and how far, like overnight, it was just like that 7-day clean eating challenge, man, the videos and then the personal page videos. I'm just like, oh my gosh, everyone's stepping outside their comfort zone. It's just like, it is really awesome. Like you guys are, I'm very proud of my team. Our team is awesome. You know, like I'm stoked with you guys.
I've just noticed that I need to get braces again. That's what the videos are proving to me. I look at it and I'm like, my teeth are terrible.
Oh, no, come on. No, please. But you know, everyone's doing, what do you want to say, Kiana?
Oh, I wanted to add 3. Hi.
I know. Right.
I wanted to add 3 quick tips to what Leah had said. So my recommendation would be if you have people to add, wait to add them to the new group, because then it's starting fresh and there's a bunch of people that are starting new right along with them. So they don't really feel like, oh, hey, everybody's already kind of had this bond. So I'm actually going to be creating the group hopefully tonight. And then I will let you know. And then what you'll do is you'll add them and then I'll approve them to be added to the group if you choose to add them and do this together. Whatever you guys choose, totally supportive. If you choose to do it yourself, and I know some of you guys have challenge groups on your own, one thing that I really wanted to kind of promote, because it's a really encouraging thing and people really feel flattered by it. So if you notice that there's somebody coaching or somebody posting all the time, you're like, oh my gosh, these people are this person would be an amazing coach. Send them a private message saying, oh my gosh, you were doing awesome. You know, I love all your posts. The one about this was amazing. How would you feel about helping me out and maybe co-coaching it with me a couple days this week, or a couple, you know, or maybe can you take next Monday? I'm going to be really busy. So kind of, you know, giving them that opportunity to step up as a leader and do what you do, because a lot of people don't realize that they're already coaching, you know, just by providing value and being supportive and nurturing to somebody. That's all we do. I don't know what a macro is. I hear about it all the time. I don't know what it is, but I know that these programs provide me with this tool where I don't have to know what it is. It's giving me this list of things that I can choose from to eat. And it's giving me this program that tells me every single day what I have to do. And so that part's already set up for us. It's really, truly loving people. And it's amazing when you get somebody that just blows it up and you just want to help them, you want to support them, and you want to nurture them to have them realize their potential, if you will. So by putting them in that role and believing in them, it's going to just help them build up their self-esteem. It's going to encourage them to possibly be a coach and do what they were destined to be. So
absolutely. A lot of times, guys, remember that like people don't know what we do as coaches. They just don't know. Like they've got this preset, like conception of what they assume that coaching is all about. And then when you actually put them in a position where you're like, hey, will you do me a favor and just post here on this day, just say something, and they realize like, oh, that's what you do as a coach. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, okay, yeah, I can do that. I'm doing that anyway, and that's an easy place to, kind of help people transition, those people that maybe, thought it was going to be one thing, but then they realized that it's not. They just needed some, like a little bit of encouragement, but yeah, the challenge groups guys are, your coaches are going to come from challenge groups, and, so focus on that. Definitely focus on them. Does that answer your question, Lee? Did that kind of that was good? Okay. Anybody else? You guys are killing it. So, I'm assuming you don't have a lot of questions because you all seem pretty strong and everything. But does anybody else have anything that they're struggling with at all, or anything that they want to add, or any successes that they want to brag about? Or
does anybody want to ask me how scared Justin was about the spider that he saw yesterday and scream like a little girl? It doesn't have to be about Beachbody.
That was not acceptable. That was the most unacceptable.
I've never heard him scream so high pitched in my life. It was awesome.
It wasn't. I told you 1,000 times that was ninja talk to that spider. You guys, they talk really high pitch. It wasn't going to hear me if I was talking low like this, so I had to scream. Okay, I told it to get out of here. Yeah. Don't give me that look, Gene. Like, oh sure. It was terrifying. Okay, I don't like spiders. I'll burn this damn house down if I have to. But everyone. He's cute. Everyone feels pretty good about everything though right now? Everyone's doing awesome? Okay. You guys are killing it. Like I said before, I will let everybody go because you guys are probably bored with this by now. But please do not forget, add everybody to the group once Deanna starts it. And if anybody else has somebody to add to the group, always say is just like I said, make sure that you're still coaching them, interact with them, behind the scenes as well. And make sure that you text us or send us a message or whatever and let us know who you're adding and what they're doing, so that we don't just get random people trying to add the group that are adding themselves.
That does happen. There'll be challengers that try to add other people. And I'm more than happy to have people, whether or not I'm coaching them or whatever, but I take a lot of pride in our accountability groups because they are a private thing. So I want people to feel safe. So I don't want just people added randomly. So if you have somebody to add, then just shoot me a message saying, oh, I'm adding this person, which you guys are all really good about, because I don't, I'm kind of protective. And I've actually had a couple people that said, is this public? I don't want this to be public. I thought it was really private. So
we've had that happen a little bit with our page. People are just adding it, which is, it's good ultimately, but yeah, it is nice to have some idea of where.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it also gives you an opportunity that if you have one of your challengers and they want to add their friend, then it's a really good opportunity for you to reach out to their friend and go, hey, what program do you have? You have 21 Day Fix? Awesome. Do you have a coach? You don't? I would love to be your coach. Here's how you do that. I could be your free coach and I'll get you added to the group right away. So it's an opportunity, whether, you're not always selling something. They might already have the program. You may never sell anything to them, which is totally fine.
Yeah. Okay. All right, everybody. Everyone's just really wait. I was preoccupied with babies. Just
it's because his favorite auntie is in the screen. So
that's why. I see. And then the little guy, Pants, little mini me over there.
I know, he's so cute.
Right? All righty, everybody. Well, okay. Then if you guys do have any questions, where we're at. Never hesitate to contact us. Otherwise, you guys have a good night. Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys.
Taking your time.
Okay, can I say something? Can I say something really quick? Sorry. So we're going to be on a little mini vacation, just 3 days. So if you guys can really step up and post, because I promised the kids I'm going to be really limited on my social media this weekend for their sake, because they've asked me to. So, we will be posting in the morning. But if you guys can kind of rah people a little bit, because I don't know that I'm going to be able to check it throughout the day.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Okay. All right,
Sounds good.
thanks again. You guys have a great night, and we will talk to you guys soon.
Bye.
Bye.